Welcome
Hey,
back,
how's
sir.
everyone doing today?
Guess wins don't get much better than the last one. I mean, I guess talk about what that victory meant to you.
Well, I guess like circumstantially, like it doesn't get much better. You know what I'm saying? Being in front of your hometown and getting a quick finish and everything like that. But there's still I got a lot of goals left. You know what I'm saying? Is there's still a lot of things I want to do. So that is by far the best moment of my career up to this point. But I'm looking to have a lot more really great moments. You know what I'm saying?
Was it almost obviously that is the ideal scenario? Is like throw one punch and be done, but like the whole build up and then the fight be over like that. Did it almost feel like where's the release I'm supposed to get here from all the training?
Oh no. Never, man. We don't get paid by the hour. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get in there. Let's get out of there ASAP. You know what I'm saying? Um, that was a situation. I know he said that the crowd didn't get to him, but I think the crowd shook him up a little bit. He was a little bit reckless. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he was planning to put pressure on me, but I think he was a little bit reckless. And at this level, you know what I'm saying? Like one lapse of judgment, and it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? So for me, you know what I'm saying, I went out there, I did my job, I took no damage, you know what I'm saying? I did it in front of my home crowd. The whole place went absolutely nuts. Everything was perfect. There's nothing bad I can say about that fight. Maybe I got hit a little bit too much. You know what I'm saying? My defense wasn't super sharp in the first 10 seconds, but otherwise, yeah, there's nothing I can say negative about that experience.
Nice. Uh, Quick turnaround. Were you hoping for quicker? I mean, 4 months is that okay, or were you? I gotta think you were fresh after that.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I was literally ready to fight like immediately after that. I was asking for a fight immediately after that. But this time frame, I have zero complaints. I mean, because kind of like Dana says, the more you kill, the more you eat. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to, cash in on this while I can. You know what I'm saying? While I'm still got my body, still got my faculties. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be active in a reasonable way as much as possible. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna look to avoid after fighting Rinat. I'm gonna look to avoid taking any fights under 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Ideally, 4 weeks and more. You know what I'm saying? So I can peak properly and everything, because it just makes such a big difference when you can peak. So it was because of how the last fight went. It was a little bit longer than I would have liked, but I had time to train. I had time to get better. You know what I'm saying? And I had plenty of time to peak heading into this fight. So I'm very happy with how things ended up going.
As you mentioned the situation with Renat, is that a fight that you want back at some point, or does it?
Course,
Yeah.
of course, man. Like, I say that, and right now, like, all I'm thinking about is AJ Fletcher. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm dreaming about that dude. But no, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of things going on with me personally going into that fight, and I learned so much after that fight. Renat's a really great guy. I have nothing. Like I have zero. I wish he was a little bit more of a jerk. So it'd be easier to. But just how good he is alone. That's all the motivation I need. Because a win like that, even if he's not currently ranked, I feel like beating him is a way tougher challenge than beating some of these ranked guys right now.
Sure. All right. Well, like you said, you do have AJ right now. What do you think of him as an opponent and kind of what he presents to you?
Dude, AJ is a tough dude. You know what I'm saying? He's a really, really fast, explosive, great double leg, nice top control, really nice guillotine. He has a wide array of strikes in his arsenal. You know what I mean? I think people are kind of sleeping on him a little bit. They're not giving him all the credit that he deserves just because, what his record is right now. But all those fights were dog fights. Even the fights that he lost were absolute dog fights to guys who aren't any pushovers. You know what I mean? So, um, you know, AJ's a killer. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we've approached this fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never. And I say this before every fight, but I really mean it. You know what I'm saying? I've never been in better shape. I've never been more sharp. I've never been more technical. We've uh, checked off everything getting ready for this fight, left no stone unturned. So AJ's a really tough guy. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't going to be looking to be the first person to finish him in his pro career tomorrow or Saturday. My bad.
I like it. Last thing for me, you get that done. what's the goal? I mean, are you laying it out? Are you trying to fight again before the end of the year? Are you trying to shut it down until next year? Like, what would be the plan with a big win here?
I would love to fight again before the end of the year. That would be ideal. You know what I'm saying? But all these things are unpredictable. We've got to get through the fight and see how my body is afterwards. But if I'm healthy, there's not even a question. I want to get in there before the end of the year. I feel really good right now. I feel like I can make a really solid push. You know what I'm saying? The amount of time that I have before the end of the year, there's still some time to get in there and improve my skills before I get back into a fight camp and have to get sharp and focus on a game plan and whatnot. So. I feel like I'm fighting at the perfect time to be able to make another turnaround and fight at the end of the year. But like we said, first things first, Saturday night, I got to deal with AJ Fletcher, and then we'll go from there.
Bryan, fourth fight at welterweight. I think you said in another interview you have your weight cut basically down, and you've improved on it. What I guess can you kind of share what's how you've got your weight your weight under control?
Well, I mean, my weight was never really like out of control. You know what I'm saying? I think, because I think the last fight, I was going into my weight cut with a lot of complacency. Because what a lot of people don't know is the fight before that, I got sick during my weight cut, and I got really, really sick, and like no one thought I was gonna make weight, and it seemed like a miracle that I made weight. So me not appreciating the fact that it was a miracle, I was like, in my head, I was like, yo, I can make, it doesn't matter what the circumstances are. My body's going to produce weight, sweat, and I'm going to make weight no matter what. And I got a little complacent, and I did things like I didn't follow my normal weight cutting routine. And, I paid for it, you know what I'm saying? My body stopped cooperating with me during my last weight cut. And so, we've made notes of that, me and my team. No fan or every interview I do, what I'm saying, they're reminding me about that. And I did come in a little bit lighter coming into this fight. I came in, which is awesome because I feel stronger than ever. I feel like I have more muscle than I've ever had. But I came in a little bit lighter just to make it a little bit less stressful. I feel like even when I had my long hair, that was always the fallback. I'd be like, well, worst case scenario, I could cut my hair. It was always way too dramatic, always way too stressful. And so, we're kind of trying to come in a little bit lighter to make it a little bit easier. But we got our regiment that we're going to follow, and we're going to take care of it. No drama, no stress, make weight, and put that all behind us.
Feels like every time you weigh in, social media is always like, they are like social media scientists.
Yeah.
Social media doctors are like, this guy's having a weight.
Yeah.
Do you find it comical?
Man, dude, what's wild about like being on this side of things, because you're a fan of sports your whole life, you know what I'm saying? And just from like being on the show to like actually being a fighter now and whatnot, it's crazy because you realize just how much BS is out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you realize how much people like actually don't know what they're talking about. Like, because before you hear something, you're like, that makes sense. That sounds like an educated opinion. And then you're on this side of things, you realize, oh man, most of these people have zero clue at all what they're talking about. So, a lot of times I see things, I chuckle. You know what I'm saying? But I really don't spend a whole lot of time and energy on it because usually if they're talking about, if someone's really infatuated with like making weight and weight cutting, that's not really the conversation that I spend a whole lot of time reading, even if I wasn't a fighter, you know what I'm saying? It's just ironic just all around, just watching opinions from people who have no idea what they're talking about, you know what I mean?
And finally, there's two Ultimate Fighter winners on this card. You and Muhammad Usman.
Yeah.
Who's the better tough winner?
Come on, man. You know it's me. All respect to my boy. You know what I'm saying? But come on, man. I'm the most exciting prospect to come off of tough in forever. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna keep on pushing that. It still drives me crazy how often people say I'm a veteran of the Contender Series, and they're robbing me of all the, all the weight cuts and all the, the grind of being in the house. I'm like, no, I won the Ultimate Fighter. And, I still don't think, winning that show gets enough credit. And so, that's something I look forward to bringing some pride back to. I want people to understand is like, no, I was the Ultimate Fighter winner. The Ultimate Fighter is for real. But yeah, no, I think it's interesting too because if you count my Ultimate Fighter fights, I think this fight. Don't quote me on this. You might have to look this up and fact check me. I think when I went on Saturday, that'll make me the most winningest fighter in the Apex. I don't know. I could be wrong on that, but if you include my tough fights, I think that's a fact. So shout out to Tough.
And then I guess on this last season of Tough, I
Yeah.
mean, what were your thoughts on it? Like, do you think it was a disservice to the prospects having to fight all these veterans?
Dude, it was. I mean, it was definitely because a lot of those fights were close, but it's like they're literally fighting guys who are like some of those guys had like winning records in the UFC. You know what I'm saying? Like they weren't fighting like my season, and we've had a lot of guys. A lot of guys have had a lot of success since the show. Like Petrosky, he's killing it. Dan, who's fighting this weekend. Brady. Ricky. There's people who are on the regional scene still trying to make the push. There, a lot of guys have had a lot of success, but we were all bona fide prospects. Like these guys were fighting like real deal, like veterans who've seen like the very highest level of the sport. So at first when I saw that, I was like, that's kind of interesting. You know what I mean? And then, yeah, I don't want to say it's a disservice because at the end of the day, we're fighters. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you're on something like the Ultimate Fighter, you got to be able to beat this guy. If you want to be in the UFC, you have to be able to beat this guy because you're going to fight this guy anyways. But definitely optically, it was definitely a little weird.
Right over here. I mean, you mentioned Dan there. He's a fellow Tough 29 alum. Have you had the chance to say anything to him?
I haven't seen him this week. But I definitely want to link up with him. Anytime I come to Vegas, I try to see as many of my Tough boys as possible. Like I'm talking to my boy Ryder. You know what I'm saying? Ryder Newman. I love that guy. Yeah, Dan. Whenever I see him, it's inevitable. You know what I'm saying? I need to hit him up. I'm just terrible at communication. You know what I'm saying? So I need to hit him up. Dan, if you see this and I haven't hit you up yet, we need to hang out at some point. But yeah, no, it's I haven't seen him yet.
Fair enough. And as the winner of the Ultimate Fighter Season 29, what has been the biggest positive takeaway from the Tough House that developed you not only as a fighter but as a human being?
The biggest takeaway from the Tough House was one validation. You know what I'm saying? Because I came from a smaller MMA market. You know what I'm saying? And not a lot of people believed in my team and what we were doing at the time. And not a lot of people believed in me as like a prospect, as someone who could go really far. Like I was viewed as like kind of like a tough fighter, but never someone who could cut it at this level. So definitely a lot of validation that I am like that dude and I am capable of these things. But also just having the benefit of like rubbing elbows with someone like Alex Volkanovski and Craig Jones and like everyone on the coaching staff, Frank, saying Big Wood, even young Colby, you know what I'm saying, who hasn't had a chance to make a splash on the scene yet, and Uncle Joe, you know what I'm saying, Volk's coach, being able to rub shoulders with them and talk to them and meet other people like Cowboy, and just be able to pick their brains and see like what it's like to be a high level fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like what it demands to be someone like Alex Volkanovski. How does he train? Okay, how is that different than how I train? You know what I'm saying? How does he go about his day? How is that different than how I go about my day? So seeing stuff like that, that really benefited me as well. I say more than because a lot of people think you learn so much, they don't realize how short the show is. But just like his demeanor and his character was something that was like really awesome to be around.
Have you stayed in touch with Volkanovski and his team since then?
We shoot messages back and forth every now and then. Once again, I'm terrible. Like what I'll give Volk credit for is if I message him, he will message me back. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a terrible communicator. You know what I'm saying? And we live on different sides of the world and different time zones. It's like if I need advice on anything, I can message any of those guys and they'll always respond back with an answer. That's always very helpful. So much love to those guys.
It's awesome. And this is about to be your 5th UFC fight since winning the show. What do you think you'll be in your career point a year from today?
A year from today, I got to be in the rankings at least. You know what I'm saying? We're just gonna keep on going. Hopefully, we can still get 2 to 3 to 4 fights a year and just keep on climbing, keep on getting better. You know what I'm saying? I'm young, I'm healthy. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to really hit my stride as a fighter. I'm like getting to different levels. You know what I mean? So I just want to keep on pushing and just take it as far as we can. You know what I mean?
And depending on if they return to Charlotte or not next year, and obviously the time frame, I mean, I'm sure you'd love to headline a Charlotte event too.
Man, listen, they cannot have a Charlotte card without me, brother. You know what I'm saying? There's no way. That's a gigantic missed opportunity. You know what I mean? And to headline that's, you know what I'm saying? There's only so many ways you can go up from the last fight. You know what I'm saying? Last time I was the second fight on the prelims. You know what I'm saying? The second fight on the card, period. Then we go up to headline. You know what I'm saying? And then we go to making it a major event. You know what I'm saying? So big pay-per-view event or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, that would be incredible. But yeah, if they have a Charlotte card and they don't have me on there, that's a crime. You know what I'm saying? That's an injustice. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Brian, what's up?
What's happening, brother?
Just got one question. On the last card you were on, you and Ian Garry kind of had an action, and there was a lot on his end on social media that he posted about it, and I just kind of want to get your side of the story.
Man, Ian, what a guy, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, hats off to him. He's doing great right now, you know what I'm saying? He's doing everything he's supposed to do. He looks really impressive. And honestly, I don't even want to spend too much energy even talking about this guy, you know what I'm saying? Just because he's made it clear that, you know, he doesn't intend to fight anyone below his ranking, which I understand, you know what I'm saying? That makes a lot of sense. And right now I'm below his ranking, so... yeah, I'm trying to not give that as much energy, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, if he does what he says he's going to do, you know what I'm saying, which is to get to the top, I'm going to get to the top. I know I'm getting to the top, so it'll be inevitable, you know what I'm saying? And then when that matchup eventually happens, the build-up for it will be tremendous, you know what I'm saying? It'll be something else. But, yeah, right now... yeah, I don't even really want to... I've already talked about him too much. All right, thank y'all.